This is Jay Cohen, owner of Locomotion Fitness in Charleston, South Carolina, and this is week 4 of the gym audit. So our first 3 weeks was all about getting ready to get new members in the door. We took a look at our facility, we took a look at our team, we took a look at our operations, and now we're ready to start marketing to get the opportunity to sit down with new members. So let's talk about all the different pieces of this puzzle. The very first thing we need to do before we do any marketing is make sure that we have a method to track in place. We've got to know our metrics. We've got to know our set rate, show rate, close rate, how many leads we're getting in the door. And so we need a system in order to track that stuff. If you've got a system like Gym Lead Machine, all of this is going to be automated and super accessible for you. If not, you can set up some sort of Google Sheet or spreadsheet, or however you want to do it is fine, but we need to make sure we have data. That allows us to know how much money we can spend on marketing and make a positive return. So we want to start all marketing efforts inside the walls of your gym, because someone who has already bought from you is much more likely to buy more from you. They already know, like, and trust you. At Two Brain, we call this affinity marketing, starting with those that have the highest affinity or are closest to you and working out from there. So if you're introducing a new service, something like a barbell club, the people that are most likely to jump into that barbell club aren't weightlifters from outside your gym, it's the members that you currently have right now. So any new initiative, start by marketing internally. Put it in your members group. Put it in an email that you send out to people. Make sure that your coaches, and this is most important, face-to-face communication, face-to-face marketing, having conversations is by far the most effective way to drive sales. So make sure your coaches are having those conversations. Selling skill sessions or your new nutrition packages or whatever the flavor of the month is. Another piece of the internal marketing puzzle that is super important that we've touched on a few times already are goal review sessions. Your goal reviews, or we call them athlete check-ins at Locomotion, are your opportunity to sit down with your member first and foremost to let them know you care. To dig into their life and see what's going on. Are they stressed at work? How has their nutrition been? What's their sleep like? How's their mindset? You're trying or needing to learn all that information because it's your job as a coach to tell them what they need to help solve their problems as it relates to their health. And the way that we can do that is by prescribing various services that we have to offer, or sometimes referring people out, or sometimes even having them step away because they're training too much, they're too stressed. So it's not about selling more necessarily, as much as it is guiding people to what they really need. However, we know if we are good business people, our business is set up so that we are the ones that can provide what our clients need. We should be asking them on a regular basis what we can do, what we can provide to help them. So at that goal review session, once you figure out what they need, hey, I want you to do nutrition with our nutrition coach, or I think you should add in yoga classes that we do once a week. Tell them what they need, and that is how you're going to grow your programs organically in-house with affinity marketing. There's 3 other affinity marketing opportunities that are really just waiting to be picked and brought back to your gym. So I want to touch on those briefly. The first one is corporate. So I want you to sit down, take a look at your member list and identify those people who own businesses or are very high up at the business for which they work. And you're just gonna sit down with that person and have a conversation with them. Figure out if bringing health and wellness to their workplace is something that will help them. And if it is, make the offer. See if you can get in there. So that's one opportunity, is corporate, and that opportunity is giant. Something else along the same lines is sports teams. So check in with your members that have kids or that are in adult leagues and see if there's anybody else in that sphere that you can get in. So maybe you end up starting to train your member's daughter's softball team, or you develop a relationship with that coach, and whenever they have an athlete that is in need of some off the field strength and conditioning, they refer to you moving forward. Last but not least, make sure that we are asking for referrals. So this is another easy way for marketing, not just marketing directly to the member that's in front of you, but asking them who else in their life can we help? Or even better, if you know that a member plays golf every Sunday, ask them, hey, I know that you have this foursome that goes out every Sunday at 9 a.m. I would love to have you guys in here so that we can get loose and get warm. Make sure that you're feeling ready before you go out and play one Sunday. What do you think? Just that gives you access to 3 new people, and the chances of you marketing and getting one of them is really high because they already know, like, and trust your business. Another massive piece of the marketing puzzle that comes before paid marketing, notice we haven't done any paid marketing yet, is content marketing. Content is king. I keep saying people need to know, like, and trust to do business with you. By creating good quality content, that is how people learn to know, like, and trust you. So your content needs to be helpful. Stop trying to showcase your business, right? There's a time for that, but if you just keep putting out, look how awesome we are, look at all these cool things we do, you're gonna sound full of yourself and nobody's really gonna care. Instead, you need to solve your potential members' problems. What's going on with them? Does their low back hurt? Do they have a hard time eating breakfast in the morning? What are the things that you can identify that they need help with? Then create the solution. Write a blog post, create a video about it, and just offer to them help. If you do this enough, when they think it's time for them to get in the gym and change their habits, guess where they're going to go? When it comes to content, I really look at it as sort of 3 different levels. A-level content is your lighthouse work. So this is stuff that's, written by a copywriter, professional photographer. We refer back to these posts on a regular basis, and they are really well done. They need to be really well done. They're one of the main drivers of getting people into your gym. This could also be a professionally produced brand video or a testimonial video, something that is clearly professionally done and well manicured. Then we've got B-level content. This is good content, but content that is done in-house. So like a standard Instagram or Facebook post or a blog post that you wrote, or if you're filming in your gym using a good quality camera and a microphone, but aren't getting in and really making it super fancy with editing software, that's B-level content. And then we've got C-level content, which think like Instagram, Facebook stories, TikTok, stuff that you can throw together really quickly. Now we want to make sure we've got a really good balance of all 3 of those things. Obviously, A-level isn't going to be out nearly as frequently, but like I said, we refer back to it on a regular basis. So start thinking about how you can step or organize your content into a couple different levels so that you can start to drive traffic to you in varying ways. Now, finally, we get into the part that everybody loves, right? I call it like the muscle up of marketing, the sexy thing that everybody wants to talk about, but nobody wants to do the beat swing or pull up skill work to get there, paid marketing. Now, there are a million different things we can do with paid marketing. We can run a lead ad on Facebook, we can run conversions, we can push people to a funnel page. The tactics here are endless. However, strategies are few. So identifying a few key strategies and seeing what works best in your market is ideal. I'm not gonna tell you what to do here because markets are totally different depending on where you are. But what I will tell you is bullets before cannonballs. So your best friend with paid marketing is testing first. Before you dump a ton of money into anything, start small. Put a few ad dollars behind it and track your metrics like we talked out at the beginning. How many leads are you getting? Of those leads, how many people are setting appointments? How many people are showing for their appointments? And how many people are you actually converting? Depending on where the problem is in that process, we can figure out what is wrong with your paid ad. So if your lead number is low, you know we've got a problem with the ad itself. So we need to either think about changing copy or changing the image, because something with that ad is making it so that people aren't clicking over. Or option 2 here, and you'll be able to tell this from the metrics in whatever platform you're using to advertise, assuming that it's digital, you'll be able to see the number of clicks on that ad. So maybe that number is really high, but your lead number is really low. In that case, we know it's a landing page issue. So whatever page you're pushing people to from that ad, if that set rate is low. So if you've got 100 leads and only 2 people are booking appointments, you know that something is wrong with that landing page. Maybe we need to try a new video or some new copy there, a new headline, but just start tweaking. Then if you have a great set rate, lots of people are booking appointments, but people aren't showing up, that's a lead nurture problem. You've got to get on the phones and call these people, make sure they remember their appointment, talk to them, develop that trust before they even come in so that the sale is that much easier. Then finally, close. Are you actually selling these people? And obviously, if that number is low, we've got a problem in the sales process. Lucky for you, next week, we have our sales audit. So we're gonna sit down and take a look at that process and see if there is anything that we can do to fix it. The last thing I wanna touch on with paid marketing is the idea of front-end revenue. So remember, when we talked about operations, we talked about arm and leg, average revenue per member and length of engagement. When we take those 2 numbers and multiply them together, that gives us the lifetime value of an average client that walks into your gym. For Locomotion Fitness, that number is about $3,000. Now, why is it important to know that? Well, I know that I can spend a lot more on getting a member than maybe the initial package that I'm selling them, so long as on the back end of that initial package, I'm converting them into a long-term membership. So I just want to make sure you're taking that into account as you set up your marketing campaigns. Think about the long game. Is it worth paying a little bit more to get a high quality lead who turns into a high quality member who generates a lot more revenue down the line? So yes, it'll be more expensive up front, but is it worth it? And that's something for you to think about. That brings us to the end of week 4 of our gym audit. Next week, we've got sales, our final process, filling our gym with new members in our nice new facility, operating super smoothly with amazing staff. And then we'll see what comes next.